Black Ops, Department of Defense, umbrella projects, you name it, CIA. They want to be a part of us because they want fame. So, like James Casbolt says, stolen glory. And we have to be very careful who we invite on these programs because not everyone is not everyone is okay. We're live, guys. Thanks for being here on Codebreaker Real Talk. And not everyone is a super soldier. I mean, I know everybody's used in the Black Project programs as experiments and things like that. But what I'm trying to say is people will make up shit, okay, to just be a part of the crowd. And I do not agree on stolen glory. Also, I'm not promoting any violence or hate here. I've written my 3 books and I've told about my journey as far as the Hulk, the Wolverine, Mars, Montauk, a bunch of programs. Yes, I do get angry if there is injustice. Like today, someone was telling me that there's a female that's married. She's Black, American. She's married to a Russian male, and before they had kids, hey, money every day. Sex was great. Finances were great. I love you. Here's your flower bouquet. And once you started having the kids, forget about it. He turned into a like ugly person, started hitting her, things like that. And now he's like being mean to the kids and controlling everything, the thermostat, the money, the, how much you eat, or give me your money. You just got paid from work. Okay, it's mine. I'm going to pay the bills, like things like that. So there he is. And there's Shamu and your brother. And then there's Tom. Hey guys, thanks for being on. We started already. Thank you for being on Codebreaker Real Talk. And we're talking about stolen glory and also Hulk, health and healing. Hi Tom, I wanted to start out with, here's Rick, and then Shamu, Hulk. Hey, what's up? How, we kind of met at the gym. I told Hulk, I said, dude, like, you're a super soldier. Did you know that? And he had the Hulk, and I go, I'm She-Ra, the She-Hulk. And he goes, what? He thought I was crazy. Years passed, and here we are. So take it away, Rick, and then Shamu, and then whoever wants to talk. Thanks, guys, for being on.
For the intro, of course, I'm Rick. I'm a baby Hulk, as Veronica likes to call me. And I'm Shamu's younger brother. They met at the gym and we've always been on our spiritual journey. Me and my brother just on our own path. And we just happened to align with people who are just on the same journey, and we just crossed paths and we're able to connect and communicate. And when you were saying earlier about stolen glory, I kind of feel like in every batch there's bad apples, and you're gonna have that regardless. So, and it's the law of oh my God, like the polarity, polarity. You know what I'm talking about. I know you guys will correct me later. Thank you. Appreciate you guys in advance. But without good, there's bad. I mean, when there's good, there's bad. When there's bad, there's good. So it's gonna happen. But at the same time, you can lead people to the water, but you cannot make them drink. It's up to them. Everyone's on their own personal journey. And I'm nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for being on. And Jose, are you still eating, man? Because if you are, we'll have somebody else talk. Tom, go ahead. How are you, Tom?
I'm good. I'm very good. So nice to meet you. So yeah, take it.
Yeah, Tom is my co-host, and he wrote several screenplays, and he is famous in Hollywood. They tried to shut him up and did a lot of bad things to him. Hollywood, HBO, and Warner Brothers, we'll just call it the powers that be. But he's back on, and they took a lot of the parts for The Matrix. The female that claims to be the actual writer is not. That is Tom. He wrote Sense8. He wrote Immortals. So here he is, and he's been my co-host. Hey, Jose, you ready? Dog,
Yeah.
dog. Old school.
My son wasn't wanting to work with me, but I got it situated now. So yeah, so she said, they call me Shamu. I'm the Hulk she speaks of, like she said before. We ran into her. Her energy read my energy. She read my aura. She told me some things that, like she said, at first I didn't know what to think, and then I continued to talk to her. She definitely helped me out through a lot of stuff, and she's actually witnessed a lot of things and brought to my attention a lot of stuff that wasn't aware of. And so, like, speaking to
Jose,
her,
thank you. I can't really hear you. You're muffled. What if you take out your earmuffs?
Hold on, the mic's should be working. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little muffled. Can you guys hear him?
Some of it, it's kind of muddied with sound. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it sounds really muddied here too. I'm having a hard time understanding.
Sorry.
Me too.
Can you do it without the lavalier?
Maybe without the earphones.
Second.
Rick, you want to talk?
So that's my brother Shamu. You know, he sounds like he's underwater, but because he's like his own vibe, his own, you know, he's a
You guys hear me
he's a
now?
oh yeah, much better,
Yes.
much better.
Okay.
Like
All right. Yeah. So like I said, I ran into Veronica at the gym. She read my aura. She came up to me, spoke to me, told me some things that I couldn't believe. She made me aware of certain stuff about myself that I didn't know, like such as the Super Soldier program and things like that. And you know, we've been really good friends ever since. And I mean, she's helped me out through a lot of stuff. And I'm very proud of her and her books and everything she's done and accomplished in her own little YouTube career that she's done. And you know, that's pretty much it. You know, we've been good friends since then.
Thank you, Jose. I've been wanting to talk about we started talking about stolen glory, but the Hulk health Hulk health and healing, because we've all, you know, gone through some changes, and I know you had surgery on your foot too, and the diabetes, just things like that. I've been getting a lot of leg cramps lately for the past 8 years, but it's like been worse this time around. Yesterday, the sun knocked me out with some, I think it was a solar flare. I came home and I was waiting for an hour and a half to get picked up, and it was all red. My son's like, "Mom, you're all red," and just a lot of things, you know. I'm gonna be getting another block done, intercostal nerve cryoablation from T3 to T8 plus PEC1 and PEC2. So I haven't told you guys that, Rick, and I've told the others. But so just the Hulk situation, you know, they try and knock us down, but we get up. So Jose, how has your journey been? I know you're back to the gym too, as well as I. So great job.
It's very difficult because going to the strength that I had to the strength that I have now, it's a very, very difficult to deal with. People don't understand. Like right now, my numbers are very average. By saying that, like when you say I can lift like 225, I can bench it, and there was like, oh, that's very impressive. Well, I'm coming from lifting like 415, you know, super human strength, and now I'm at a very normal strength, and people don't understand it, and it plays a lot of mental issues with you because you understand that you're stronger than what you are, but I also understand that my body isn't where it once was, and I have to work back at it to be at that strength again. And you know, I'm a tall guy. I'm used to walking around at 250, and being right now being like 220. This is small for me, and it's upsetting and it's frustrating. But I understand that it's a process, and I'm trying not to overdo it and hurt myself, injure myself. And it's something that I know that it will come back, and I'm working at it. I'm trying to be very patient. I mean, as you as well know that, you know, things don't heal as fast as they used to anymore, and you have to take your time and definitely you know, to be patient with yourself as my body isn't what it once used to be. And like I said, it's a new journey. It's very humbling. Oh my God. Sorry, like I'm getting a little emotional. I don't mean to get emotional, but it's a difficult thing. It is a very difficult thing to deal with.
Yeah, it is. I'm at 195, which is my average weight, but I've been losing a lot of like electrolytes, dude. Like I have to keep on top of it. And then if I drink too much of magnesium citrate, then I'm in the bathroom, you know, and I get really sad because a lot of the people that were in the military and the army, some of them died because they lost, they kept losing their minerals and all that amino acids and stuff like that. And I just get really mad. Like yesterday, I couldn't go to the gym. My whole body was weak, but now I'm ready. I'm ready today, you know, and I usually go 4 times a week, 3 hours a day. And I take 2 days off, not necessarily back to back, but our strength though, now I'll tell you this, and I'm sure you guys will agree, is no matter when our strength is needed, whether we are feeling weak or not, we bounce back, you know, and we are needed as we are, as it goes, you know. We're prepared mentally. The pain, I don't know how do you guys do it, but I know that I just zone in, like I'm in pain or whatever, and I just zone in. I'm like, this too shall pass, and you know, I just go into the zone where I got this. Like this is gonna pass, and tomorrow's a new day, and you know what? An hour from now is a new hour, minute by minute, day by day, with anything, not just with pain, but you know, you can have whatever problem, I've had to deal with it like that. But Rick, you guys want to talk about your promotions? I was supposed to be in your video, but we'll be in the next one. How did that video go downtown?
Always fun being creative. When you're able to create from like, because I feel like we are fractals of the creator, we have the ability to create as well. So as we're making it, and it's also collaborative, everyone enjoyed it and it was super fun. I was hoping to meet you like for in person, and I was like, I could already feel her energy. She's gonna love me. I could tell already. And it just wasn't our time. It's not our time. But when it is, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as far as the music video, it was super fun. People showed up. There was even a dog there. We were just like, it was so many, just being creative and making and filming it was awesome. We had drone footage. It just,
Nice.
words don't do justice. But what I could say is I'm super happy that we finalized the final touches of our film, of our music video,
Right.
and it should be coming out next week, I believe, Shamu. What is it?
Yeah, it should be coming out like within the week or so. We're gonna plan to do a premiere and show it out to people, and you obviously you'll be invited to come check it out and hang out with us, and yeah, we're just really excited. Like you said, it was really cool to be able to work our minds and be very creative and see the experience of what it takes to make a music video, kind of like a mini movie. It was very exciting. We did a lot of stuff, and it's good to see the payoff of our work and see where it could go and where we'll lead.
Yes. I was able to secure a vehicle not until 9 p.m. that night. I'm like, hey, I was like, is it too late? And you're like, bro, we're done. I'm like, okay, next time.
Yeah.
But any new dreams that you guys want to talk about? Because I know, Rick, the last time you were talking about how it was kind of like a Halo scene where, you know, you had to stand at, you know, at ease. I mean, not at ease, but they had you like in the line. I'm just gonna say what's been going on with myself, and then you guys can talk. So last night, I was at a table, and there was a male, black male, and he said, "Hey, marry me." And I said, "Nah, bro, I'm not. I'm celibate, dude. They always try and get me. I don't know about you ladies, but in the dreams, I always say I do not consent to astral sex. I do not consent to marrying anybody, and blah blah blah." So I said, "Nah, dude, I'll be back," because we were eating, right? And somebody gave me some flowers, and they started growing. And then I had on a dress this time instead of a black and white suit. And then I ended up with paperwork. And I looked down at myself, and I had a corset type of dress with, I don't know if I was doing CIA sex kitten thing. I don't know. I hope not. But you know how that goes. And then I had just a lot of paperwork on me. And I said, and I started running. I went through portals. I went through wormholes. It was like I went through malls. And then somehow I ended back into the United States. But before I ended up back into the United States, there was a female that was in the wheelchair, and her back looked just like my grandmother, and her voice. Then my mother was there, and something inside me kept saying, "Don't look back. Don't look back at her. Not until you're secured. Not until you go through hold that wormhole and go through, right?" And then finally, when I am secured myself in the paperwork, I look back and my grandma gets up. Guess what? My grandmother turns into a very thin female, short blonde hair, and she walks away. So I was telling Amaria today when we were on the phone, I'm like, you know, these things that they do, they put like different holograms, different tests were being tested all the time. And the night before, I was looking up because I posted a lot of pictures last night about different aircraft that's been popping off of Catalina Mountains. So I dreamt that there was a lot of triangles looking up, like the male triangle instead of female one, a lot of triangles looking up. And then on the bottom, it had coins, but instead of coins, it was numbered. So I still have to decode that, but it was just grids and grids of that. And just a lot of things like battles, just a lot of weird stuff that's happened. And I've written them down. I'll probably put it in my 4th book, but for now, I'm done for now. So anyway, who wants to say anything about their dreams? Rick or Jose?
Well, I don't have a lot of new dreams. It's dreams that I've sat on for a while. And I stepped back for a while from the public, as some of you guys know. It's just been recently that I've been kind of getting back in for different reasons. I don't really want to get into a lot of it just because there was attempts on my life and my family. And so, but I think we've got things squared away. I've really learned how to step into my power, my energy, and use my abilities again. And it's been wonderful. The memories I have that came up
That's so
besides,
awesome. You kind of froze there, Amaria.
oh, was it? Oh, okay. Is that okay now?
Jose, did you want to say something? Hopefully she'll come back.
Oh,
I hear her.
No, I was just agreeing with Rogue Dragon. I haven't had any new dreams. I've actually been having the same reoccurring dream. I spoke about it on your show about me going on the planet and there's bombs and shooting and running through the field and all that stuff. And it all started when when the whole world thing, World War III, everybody's going crazy, panicking, everybody's scared. Um, I just feel if it happens, I'm ready to go and like I said, that's all I've been going through. And I mean, as for Road Dragging, I understand you because I didn't know that I was an empath until Veronica told me, and she's been helping me kind of trying to hone my abilities.
that's
It's
awesome.
very weird because I don't want to have false readings on people, so I don't approach people. I'm not very approachable. I'm very standoffish, so I don't want to go up to random people and tell them like I feel something's wrong with you or just I
It's
don't know how to
usually
approach.
best not to, just thinking about the laws of the universe and free will. Usually it's better to not just read people. It's really hard, and that's part of, I think, something that we start to develop as we move forward in our abilities. I feel really fortunate because growing up on my mom's side, my grandma was Native American, and she taught us a lot of the ways. And so it wasn't kept from me, but then my dad's side, the religious side, they kind of did. They were more like, oh, we're going to give it all the religious jargon and words, but if you're doing what we don't like, then you're conjuring demons. And it's just kind of strange learning about, the different things with religion. And as I've really embraced my shadow side and trauma work, that's one of the things that I really focus on is those things. And today, since we're actually talking about memories, it'd be interesting to be because Shamu, you actually look very familiar. It's almost triggering. And I had these memories. I think that some of them are over by Egypt because I was actually able to go onto a map and expand it. There's this floodplain area that has kind of like these big washes, and there's some dumbs there in this one of these washes that you can actually see when you go down. There's a big bridge that was blocked at the point that we were on a convoy, and we were all in desert. Was it the DCU at the time? And we went into one of the tunnels, and I'm trying to figure out what we were doing because there was so much death.
Was it
Like
the
you
tan
could
uniforms?
smell. What's that? The
Were
desert
we
uniform.
running
It
down
was,
down the tunnel, like into the darkness?
yeah, we went down in and you could smell the death. There was actually, we were doing like rescues from
Thompson.
like kids in the tunnels,
Mhm.
but you could smell what had been going on. I mean, it's just putrid.
And you can't
And
see
that's
the
one
end.
of the things that really stood out in that memory was that smell. You could almost taste it, and it doesn't wash off.
I've actually spoken about this in previous podcasts with Veronica. I remember running down a tunnel. I can't see the enemy. I smell sulfur, like burning. Um, that's crazy that you say that because I know that I was running down a tunnel. I don't know where it was at. I just know that I'm running down and people are dying all around me. And that the fact that you bring that up kind of just kind of triggered me a little bit because it sounds familiar, like very familiar.
One of the things that I get used for a lot in the programs, because I have pilot navigator abilities, is time travel, and also as a medic, because my original Kruger altar was split literally by removing my head and my body, and because they wanted to separate the heart mind. If you understand quantum entanglement, they were thinking, oh well, if we split it, then she can't be as strong. Well, just like somebody that loses limbs, they can learn to be strong. And if you can imagine once you get your limbs back, how much stronger you are. But I'm always a medic. And so usually we're doing some sort of recon where we're picking up bodies. And that's so crazy, like that you're talking about that sulfur smell, because that's something that I couldn't place. Because it's almost like
That's the
rotten
Draco smell.
eggs.
Either the Draco or the gray, because I remember one time waking up, right as I woke up, um, there was a gray standing at the foot of my bed, and it stank so bad. It stunk like sulfur, like rotten. So I don't know if it's the gray or the Draco smell.
Both of them stink because the Greys
Yeah.
walk through a soup of like human body parts and blood to feed themselves through their skin. That's why they smell so terrible, the Greys.
True that.
I mean, I don't know what species it is or whatever, because like I said, we're running down a tunnel, and I know is that we're shooting at something we can't see. I know that there people are dying left and right, and I'm just going forward and pushing forward as much as I can, and like Veronica says, there's people that don't know they were in the program, and
Right.
maybe we have interacted before. I mean, you do
Yeah, a
seem
lot of people that I
here.
I meet, usually it's because there's an injury or like you had a severed body part or you got killed, and then you would come to Regen. And so usually I would be working in that unless I was on a physical mission, then they would be saying, okay, we need a medic. And then that's usually who they would call, is they would bring me over as a medic.
Well, the reason why I bring that up is because I know that like I'm not indestructible, but I can take pretty much a lot of pain, and I I mean my injury from my foot, I busted an inch of a vein in my foot, and I was still able, like you said, you're able to use your other limbs, other senses to kind of
Right.
compensate for that. So I wasn't able to walk. I was able to do other things, but it was very difficult, and that's crazy. But it's insane that to hear you talk about Egypt and running down a tunnel, and yeah, that brings back
It kind of
memories. And
makes
that
me think, I'm trying to think his name, maybe Susan, I don't know if you recall his name. He's one of the shaman or medicine men that Penny's talked to, but he's talked about how like a lot of us have like Nephilim DNA. And so we actually create more creatine kinase, which I would actually love. If there's somebody listening to the show that knows how to do that testing, I would love to see it, because what happens is you have a tendency to like fibromyalgia, lung issues, heart issues, but then we have these bouts of strength. Like I can do weird ass jobs all freaking day, and other people will be dropping like flies. And as long as I set a certain pace, I can go all day, all night. and like it's like, come on, let's go. And it's like till recently, whatever it is, I think with all these nanoparticulates, that's why I'm doing more detoxing. I think like the 5G causes harm and it's activating, I think, more of that creatine kinase, so it's causing that breakdown from what I understand. But an area where I'm very curious, like just having that testing to see what that would produce. Because I think they put you on a treadmill and have you run, and then they test you somehow.
Like to
Well,
know more about that.
that's very peculiar because like I know that since I started going back to the gym, I'm doing 2 a days, 4 days out of the week, and I go for 2 to 3 hours. I don't get tired. I sleep maybe 4 or 5 hours, wake up fully energized, ready to go. But I've been doing a lot more herbal supplements, more like Celtic salt, doing merengue, or my brother can probably pronounce it. I always mispronounce it.
Moringa.
Moringa, there you go. Sorry, I always mispronounce it. I've been doing a lot of herbal teas. I've been fasting more, and my body's been more accessible to me because now, like I said, I'm able to jump maybe 6 inches, and that's not a lot right now, but because I used to be able to jump 4 feet in the air, and now my body's coming back to where it once was, and I don't feel like people my age already are tired. They don't want to do nothing. They lack energy, and I still feel like I'm in my 20s. Like it's crazy to
How
think
old are
about
you
it,
again?
but
How old are you again?
I'm 38,
Hey,
Nice.
but
I'm
That's really
24.
cool.
I
How
mean,
old are you? I don't know if Tom wants to say.
no, I'm not gonna ask people's ages. I don't want to be rude, but no, no, but
I'll be 49 in 2 weeks. How about that?
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You look good.
Are you
I'm gonna
doing
say
that?
this is it's really cool what you're all talking about. I like to. This is the first time I get to actually just listen rather than talk all the time. So, but
Oh,
I
no.
love it. And but there's a lot of synchronicities happening here, and I dress this way a lot because I want to kind of fool the other side and fit in where they are, and then they start opening up and telling me all kinds of things. So I play the part. But you're talking about quantum physics. I just was studying quantum physics last night and realizing that humanity is missing so much on the simplicity items, about quantum physics and how they had this huge battle with Einstein and the other guy were like, and then there was Bell, and they were trying to figure out, this two things. They're stuck on these two things, and Einstein's lifetime was spent on it. And he said he never could figure it out, called it spooky. And this thing came to me last night, just like these math formulas came. And it's like, oh, here's what they're missing. Here's they're missing. And it's like,
That's really
oh my
cool.
God, the whole thing about, and I'll tell you what it was. I got this download, like, the experiment where they have the sheet, the card, and they had the slits and they shoot the particle through, like
Oh
particle,
yeah.
like, oh my God, it's acting like it's going to form when you look. And if you look at the moon, it'll form. Like, oh my God, people. But it's like, then it was like, well, what if you put a card back farther? And you were able to get a card. It's dynamic. The particles are like pulsars. They change and are dynamic. And if you catch it like swatting a fly, then it's going to form a certain thing. It hasn't formed to your will. It has you caught it at a moment, but if you let it keep going, it's going to keep on being vibrant and changing. So this whole thing is like, ugh. But anyway, so I'm looking at it going like, where have people been? I think we've been stupefied, and now the answers are coming very simply, and the synchronicities are really converging on everything. You're talking about Nephilim. I just used that name for the Prime Minister of Israel, called him, Prime Minister Nephilim, because it's like, it's the people are beautiful, but the leaders are ones screwing everything up. But it's nice to
And
meet
I
you
think
all.
a lot of us have those genetics because I think that they were trying to make us into monsters, which in the programs we were. We did horrible things. But we look at those of us that are doing the trauma integration work, that are, working on ourselves. And that's what are you doing? You guys are going to the gym. That's a fucking meditation. That's cathartic. You're releasing on so many levels. You're getting breath work, like the whole 9 yards. And you don't see a lot of people do that. That takes a lot of guts. That takes courage. That takes strength. And that takes dedication. A lot of people don't do that because it's not easy. And like, I'm really proud of you guys. That's really inspiring. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's like the DNA that I have. I know that since I've been eating cleaner and giving my body the minerals and vitamins that it needs, that it's been more efficient for me. It's been working. It's cleared my head, and he's right. We are pretty much diluted in left in a fog. I guess you could say like I'm trying to contact my third eye as much as possible and be able to know that my abilities are not just physical, they're also mental and spiritual, and that I'm trying to be more one with the earth, like, you know, trying to walk around barefooted, trying to get the, you know, the magnetism from the earth. Um, just different stuff that people seem to think that it's weird or not normal, but it was normal back in the day for us. And
Yeah.
and now it's just crazy to see that I'm more than just I would say a grunt. I'm not just a run into the burning house anymore. Now I'm actually thinking, trying to think of strategies, different stuff to kind of deal with everyday life that I'm dealing with. And it's been very helpful. I mean, it's been very eye-opening, I guess you could say, to a universe that's really vast, and we're really touching it.
Barely. Thank
That's
you,
really
guys.
cool.
I have many dreams of you know, the equations. I'm writing blackboards, whiteboards, and the movie I had never seen, Tomorrow War. And before I saw this movie, I was in a room. A male was sitting, older man was sitting beside me, and there was a classroom, but it was like very little people were there. And then there was a teacher there with like grayish hair, and he had us go up there and write our equations. And then I get my suitcase, my backpack on, and then I go and I'm on a mission, and I end up at a stadium. And I'm like, holy, a football stadium. And the whole Tomorrow War thing triggered it. And this was back, Iris Jackson was the one that told me about this movie, that when it first came out, I'm like, dude, I had that dream like 2 years ago. And then this movie comes out. I also have like this quantum leap equation that I wrote on the book, but on the thing, it doesn't really let you put like the letters or numbers up. And it's a quantum leap equation that it's V as in Victor, which is capital V, small x, small y, which I should say lowercase, right? Lowercase, okay, and then capital Q, capital L, E, A, P, and then it has a C on top of the P to the C degree. So it's V, X, Y, Q, L, E, A, P, quantum leap to the C power. It's kind of interesting. I told Miles Johnson about it. He said that he was going to have one of his math guys like figure it out. And then I have to send him the other equations. So maybe, Tom, if you want to send some to his friend, maybe they'll figure it out as well. Real quick, I tend to grow extra bone. Sorry, Mama. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, because like how I always bring in like my gaming things into this, like quite literally, I don't know if anybody's watched the Mandela Effect that I told you that's on YouTube. It's literally like a documentary, just like Your Matrix was a documentary. So they talk about how it explains like the layers of reality so well. And the double slit experiment is what you're talking about. So like when they shoot two beam particles, and it ties into the observation effect. And the observation effect says when you're not looking at something, it doesn't exist. And the particles can be in superposition. They can be in two different states. And honestly, people could see different, like a wave or a particle, depending like on different sides. So that all ties into like the physics that would still be in a video game, because how a video game saves data is it does this thing, I forget where, you know how in games like you can enter buildings, but the building's just on the outside, but when you enter it, then you go into another digital space. That is kind of like how our world works. When we're not looking at something, or like the reality is preserving data or information in a certain way. And that's why like it's trippy to think about us being on the same timeline, because we could all be on just like different dimensional timelines right now, but like, and then because we're not looking at each other, we've never seen, some of us haven't even seen light reflect off of each other in real time. So that is very significant. I think people don't even think about, but like we're still being able to communicate like through this way. And also I just wanted to say before I get off, I've been watching a lot of Marvel movies, and I did not know how much like they were going to tie in, so I started rewatching them. She-Hulk's going to be one next, and now I'm going to rewatch the Hulk, like, because they have like the oldest one on there on Disney, so I'm going to rewatch that. I'm probably going to get really emotional because I want to like, because I watched one on Captain America, you know, Rocket, all them, so I need to feel like what the Hulk is, because they're very emotional to me. I don't know if you guys can like say anything like how they portray it in those movies if you've ever watched them. But I think like, yeah, you guys are amazing what you're doing, and I really hope that you can remember who, like, how amazing you are, no matter like how they try to weaponize you against yourselves. Because like I really feel like, of course, we're not waiting for anybody. We're supposed to save ourselves, and they used us, yeah, and used you guys and portrayed you guys as monsters, but they didn't think the monsters would rise up and be quite literally like the new Marvels, the Thunderbolts. It's where like the bad guys kind of like become good. They're the ones that have to, because the Avengers are gone, so we're gonna need a whole new uprising of people, and that's. I wonder, like, I'm still thinking Marvel, like, that's interesting, but I'll let someone else talk. Sorry, I just want to say that.
So much. That's so cool. I just loved your whole thing. I was tuned in completely. And I would suggest watch The Boys on Amazon, because what you'll see is the methodology of Hollywood and such, and the cabal, is to darken everything. They're trying to darken us and make us believe that we're actually evil at our core. They want to convince us, put a guilt on us, religion and that, movies, to make us feel like we're dark. We're all dark. And it's not true. And so my work was twisted that way into The Boys, and they stuck everything in it, even the Becca name, where that's the honeypot wife I had was Becca, and he loses her and she wants to stay. Monique is my Trinity. They have her as the other love interest. They have the guy going to Central Park West. Central West is my high school. Park is my middle name in the middle. They've got the girl who is from the Nazi experiments, who is immortal, and her daughter dies of Alzheimer's. That's from my work. Same, right on the spot. And it's like they've got the thing. I mean, it's just like, oh my God, it's all there. And so what they're doing is their best work comes from imitating art. And that's what they do. They imitate, mock, and their best work comes from that. It keeps it interesting for them. But we have to be aware that they're darkening everything down when they steal it. They're darkening it to try to convince us we're dark. We're not. We are light. We are.
Yeah, and then
light.
Your trauma again, like that's something like a lot of people don't think of, like, because in these movies I'm like, I started putting it all together. I was mad at people. I was like, you watched Marvel, and Hydra they mentioned Project Paperclip in there. They just like switched things around. Hydra made Super Soldier.
And Wonder Woman too. Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before too as well, they hide the messages in the movies. They hide them. They put them in there. They're giving you the answers.
Straight up, like, and that's what I'm noticing now. So like I get, like, when I'm watching this, I get so emotional because I'm meeting all of you people, and I'm like it hurts my soul to know like that you guys went through this, but then I also see the light coming back, and that there is redemption, and like we could I really do believe in all of us.
That's one of the beauties about you and the rest of you here, is that you have your feelings and your emotions and everything. You haven't lost them. They want us to lose that capacity, but you have that gift still, and you exercise it beautifully. It's wondrous to watch. So,
well, I spoke about it before on Veronica's podcast, where I literally was like, I'm a recovering addict. I literally, for 13 years, I'd been in a fog, because I couldn't understand why I had certain feelings, emotions, and all this stuff. And I literally didn't want nothing to do with them. But once I became sober and I was able to tap into my emotions and actually see that I was doing like something that was covering my abilities, because I was afraid of them, and was able to bring them out, I feel a lot more happier. I'm a lot more calm, a lot more, I feel myself more now. And it's very crazy. And I'm learning who I really am. My true self really is. And you're right. They try to make us into these monsters, these terrible characters, whatever, however you want to put it. But to turn back on Moon's little thing about gaming, I'm fortunate to be on this planet with my twin, my little brother. They've called us twins forever. He's had dreams of him actually being like a watcher and, monitoring me, because like he's kind of like he's the strategist and I'm the grunt. I'm gonna do the work, he's gonna come up with the plan. And even when we played Halo, is one of my favorite games. I still play it to this day, and it's always calming. The chaos makes me calm. I don't know why, but he's always coming up with the strategies. I'm the one who's always running them out, and we've completed the missions. We've beaten the game so quick, so fast. Just we're able to know what we're going to thinking. I'm sorry. We're able to know what we're thinking without even saying it, and it's very peculiar.
Well, no, it's not at all, because I'm uncovering all of these projects that you guys were probably in the same projects, video gaming projects. I played SOCOM, one of my first games that was made by the Navy SEALs to simulate it was to simulate soldiers in battle. And some of even the first zombie games were to just sensitize people. All these games have some of this. I don't even know if you've ever played like Black Ops 2, but it just predicted everything. Like everybody was tripping out over the internet, like what just happened with Israel. Everything was put into that game. So so just like they did with Tom's stuff, if you are into video games and if you were into Halo, and I was a PlayStation person, so I never got to experience that, and I hope one day that I can. But I was a Call of Duty and SOCOM person, and I was so skillful, and to this day, like some people will lose their skill, not me. I can hop on like any game, and I'm just like, because I was trained on these games, so like whenever the time comes down for it, I would be trained to make the moves like I would in the video game. I would strategically move like I would have to do in Call of Duty if we have a point, or I played strategical games, period, like Ghost Recon or Tom Clancy and stuff like that. So all of these games play a big role, and then they're using their own trauma against you. And this is the sick sadistic stuff that I think they're like tying into what Tom said, not just like taking your stuff and then putting it out there, but also just like inverting it. And I feel like that is an energy distortion, and it just mucks everything up too, because of course it just makes other people too not be able to understand at all, even whenever you come out and try to talk about this stuff like this.
You guys have a vibrancy, like you have layers of feeling showing. And like Shamu, I could cast you in a film. I used to do film casting besides writing, and I could put you in a film. There'd be dynamic there. There'd be like so many layers there. Audiences would be enthralled with your presentation, I can tell you right now. And you're not tainted, and it's like I talk about a remnant, people that are real heart, real feeling. You guys have it. And Rogue Dragon, you got this like quiet patience, but also you can see the intelligence just like booming out of you. And it's like, but you're also very sweet in your patience with everybody too. It's like you don't just jump in. I've seen a lot here. It's like firing my mind up. And it's like you talked about ancient Egypt. I mean, that's my thing. It's like ancient Egypt.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Thank you. That's very kind. I'm a Gemini by nature. It's not easy to shut the fuck up. So I'm working on myself.
You could have fooled me. You could have fooled me.
I'm calling Geminis out.
That's cool. I never heard of that. What's that? Prophetess for the Geminis.
Susan knows that plenty of times I've gotten myself in trouble with my mouth, and she's had to come save my ass.
Well, if it's any comfort, I was always called like on tours and stuff. They called me Lucky Strike because I didn't filter anything. It just came out. So I think there's something good in that.
Awesome.
And then you talk about the creative process. That's a plus in the creative process. So don't fight too much. The good things will just pour out. Yeah.
It's fun. I think that's what makes music fun. And I'm actually starting on my birthday, July 11th. I'm going to be doing live sound baths here in Salt Lake City. So
very cool.
That if you happen to be crossing through and you're on one of those Friday evenings, you gotta come down. It'd be cool.
Very cool. And congratulations on your video stuff too. Shamu.
Thank you.
Where did the other guy go? He's gone. Okay. All right. Anyway.
Awesome,
yeah. I had a question for you too about your jewelry, because I was thinking about your tats, Shamu, and like these are choices. These are choices of reflection, or they could be for protection, or they could be for statements. I'm curious what your messages are through your jewelry you're wearing.
Who's that question for?
Sorry. You and Rogue. So you both have, I mean, the tats, I can't ignore them. And it's like the jewelry she's wearing is standing out to me. And it looks like, almost like I'd worn that kind of thing in the past. So I'm curious about.
I just had to look close at the tattoos.
Oh, I have Hulk pants. I have the green ones.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then I have, to me, I resonated with the Hulk because his story is one of struggle. He has two people in his mind, and it's Bruce Banner and it's the Incredible Hulk. There's always a struggle for balance because one wants to be normal, have simple life, and the other one wants the same thing but has to live through carnage through his looks. And I've always had that battle within myself as well. And they pretty much just reflect that I'm going through life dealing with the, I guess, duality in my head, and I have to keep myself kind of like in some kind of I guess, checks and balances. So to make sure that I don't misuse my powers, and grew up anger issues, like I said, addicted to certain stuff, and my earrings. I only wear earrings. For some reason, I don't like other jewelry. I don't wear watches, chains. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right to me. Wearing earrings allows me to have some kind of balance. Like I said, it kind of balances me out. So that's pretty much the only reason why I have the tattoos and stuff like that, just to kind of remind me to control myself, basically.
Exactly. Rick, did you want to say something about it? Have you had any memories lately or anything you want to touch on?
I maybe think Rogue should finish Tom's question about the jewelry.
Oh yeah,
Thank
It's
you.
all good. It's all good. We'll get to me.
sorry.
I'm gonna cook right now. Don't worry.
The patient man.
What did I wear today?
How
Let's see,
bad?
I guess I have the purple Labradorite. I have a Labradorite feldspar thing, so I love the stuff. I like the energy, and I think that for me, it kind of reminds me of that duality, kind of the way that you like the Hulk thing. I resonate actually with Wonder Woman. Um, I have past lives that I remember from Greece and Egypt and Lemuria, and so some of those tribal things just kind of they just resonate. And then as a healer, Sekhmet is one of those because I kind of have that fiery goddess energy, yet at the same time I'm still a healer. 1976 fire dragon, and so Scorpio rising, Capricorn and Sagittarius in my moon, but it's like my Venus and Cancer balances everything out. And so it kind of brings me back together. And so I remind myself of that duality because I was really a fiery kid, really similar, Shamu. Like I was always in trouble for getting in a fight because I was either getting picked on or fighting somebody because they picked on me or one of my friends. And I think that underdog thing, it kind of made me a little fighter. And then just doing the shadow work and healing. I actually do security for full time. And I work a lot with a lot of people that are homeless and displaced. And a lot of them are pretty cool people that look at what they're doing. And I think that in a way we're all wayward. We're all vagabonds or travelers in our own right. And I think that's cool. I think that we all need to have something that we can ruffle feathers a little bit and help people have thicker skin. And because I think when we help other people and push them a little and we get pushed a little, it makes us tougher and more compassionate.
I have a question before Rick goes. Rick, thanks for letting us do this too, this intercession part. Is there a memory from the ancient times that comes to you that stands out among others?
I was a priestess in the temples. My near-death experience, I had Yeshua, I was talking to him, and he said I was one of his daughters. And I was raised in the temples. So my name was Sarah. I know there's a lot of people that have those fractals. That's something that's been personal to me. And I find it interesting because when I was Mormon and I went to the temple, that was actually my secret name was Sarah, which I'm like, that's really, really odd that turned out to be that way. But I think a lot of us, I don't know if you've read John Whitworth's books at all. He
No,
talks a lot about
yeah.
the different programs where we're like fractals. We have fractals of different Anunnaki gods. And so, because if you were to try to take one god and put it in a mortal body, like that body would burn up. But if you can split something like however many times it has to be split for that particular person, then you could have 100 people out there that have that fractal, have those abilities, those memories, and then you also have your core that your soul, because I think that we're combined, we're woven in to those, because I don't feel like I'm just one piece. I feel like I have a lot of pieces, but then it's like just grounding, and who am I with my light? What am I? And my I am is I serve, I heal, I love, and sometimes I smash. I had to.
That's great. And Rick, you've got like this driving energy just simmering right there. It's really cool.
I want to start off before I go into what they were just saying, what you were just saying. I believe that when you get tested, it's for you to have your testimony. So no one learns from like Mr. or Miss Perfect. You have to be relatable. People that because I'm like a healer energy. When I express myself, people like raise their vibrations and frequency with me. So everyone, it's like there's so much we talked about that there's so much to unpack. So my mind just went somewhere else. But check this out. Check this out. When it comes to like cell phone services, right? There's different little posts everywhere. I want you guys and people who's watching on this video here to let you guys know that you guys are not alone. You know how there's different satellites and everything. You're strategically put in different places because we're here to raise vibration, frequency. So although you feel alone, just know that you're doing good work and you're not alone. And communities just like this is helping people grow themselves so they can ascend and raise the frequency. So I'm happy we're here. And I'm glad you guys are having these um, revelations, these epiphanies, these whatever experience you guys are having. So yay for you guys. That's first. There's so much to say. Shamu and Rogue Dragon meet each other. Like it was just time for you guys to meet. It's just time for you guys to come to the realization that it's that part of your memory is real. It feels real to you guys, and it is real to you guys. And no one can really understand what you guys went to other than you guys. And it's hard to explain. And I'm glad you guys had this moment. And what were you gonna say, Tom? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you, but I get this image strongly.
I see you, Tom.
Yeah, I'm getting it
Huh?
really hit me. I wanted to ask you a question. Did you
Shoot.
experience a sensation that people were revolving around you, like you were in the center and there's a swirling around you of like, or not?
No, I don't resonate with that at all. I don't understand what that means.
Maybe I'm not presenting it properly. It actually happened in Man in the High Castle with Juliana. Juliana is somebody who brings people together, and they're pretty consistent and constant with helping people connect and things like that. That's what I'm saying.
So
I
I
have the
can
ability
answer
to
this
do a
for
lot
him.
of things like that.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What they
I
say?
feel that.
No,
What they
I can
say?
answer
One at
it
a time.
for him because my brothers can go up to random people, start a conversation out of thin air, and he can tell them these motivate. Like I said, I'm fortunate to have my twin with me in this lifestyle. He's literally right next door, and like I said, right now I can feel his energy. He doesn't want to answer this because he's like doesn't want to give that impression. He's really low key about that, but
Humble.
he does. He does emulate so much energy, so much positive vibe that it's insane. He's motivated me so many different ways. Veronica's testimony to this, everything that he has told me to do. I mean, I never thought about being a fruitarian. I never thought about just eating fruit and seeing what that would do to my body. My diabetes went away. My liver failure went away. My kidney failure went away. And this was all stuff that he suggested to me, and then it worked. I just tried it. Like I said, he's the strategist, and I'm the guy who's going to do it.
I
And
appreciate sharing that too, because it just came strong. It's never been wrong. It's how I even wrote the screenplay. So maybe I misplaced it on Rick, but it's like, it's here. I feel it. Like, and it may be a number of us that are this way, but I appreciate you sharing that.
I actually just
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say something about the supernatural episode I watched. It was like related to science, but like I was breaking it down and I was talking to my Virion, and because like in this girl, if you know sirens, they can project illusions or they can use psionic abilities. They're very not good looking girls, but they like lure men pretty much. But in this, they were luring men, and I was thinking about like I was looking at like how this girl she would be able to get these men to kill their wives. Like she was like a stripper, and like as I'm watching it, like I'm just seeing her like these men fall deeply in love with her, and I guess she like skyrockets their oxytocin is what makes you fall in love. And so I just like did a little digging about that because I was like, I feel like I have the ability, because if I would leave my house and it has nothing to do with being a girl or my looks, people will flock to me. And just like you said, I'm sorry, I hope I say it right, Shamu, because some people don't even see their own abilities. Like you have to have somebody else tell you all the time. And I stay in the house mainly because going outside, people will come up to, I've like have people hug me, pray for me, or come up to tell me just random things like I don't know you. It's just I guess I have a very inviting energy, but with that comes with people always wanting to be entitled to your energy or think that they are in your circle whenever, like, you know, you mainly stay alone, but you have this ability to be a node. And just like you said, I talk about, like, oh, we say star seeds, just like you said, we are planted like seeds out on the grid to vibrate on a certain frequency and to help each other. And a lot of people are freaking out, like, what are we supposed to do? This is what we're supposed to be doing. Just even sitting down at this round table is what we are supposed to be doing. I know it's like, oh, it doesn't, but I think it will, and we're gonna help each other, and then we'll all like branch off and be able to help, like, you know. So I don't know if I was gonna say anything else.
I just want to throw out real quick, and then I'll shut up, is that maybe what I was trying to point out was the magnet thing. I was called the magnet, and I think you guys could be called Shamu Magnet. You know, your magnet. It's like that's what I meant by the swirl around. We draw people just naturally. And it's like our friends will be like, oh my God, how's this work? I mean, people keep going up to you all the time. It's like, that's what I mean. It's not an ego thing. It's to bring people together. And that's why I wrote to try to bring people together. I look for other magnets because I feel really comfortable and comforted being around magnets, people that just naturally draw because they got such great hearts and talent.
I believe I'm like a frequency, like an embodied crystal, just like giving that energy. And that's why it's important, if you have not yet, as an empath or a healer, to set your boundaries, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give love if you don't have love. It's important to keep yourself protected because, like I said previously, you can lead them to the water, but you can't make them drink. At the end of the day, we're just guides, but we're not going to tell you what to do. At the end of the day, it's for you to make those steps. So I keep that in my mind. But the reason why I bring that up is because I was saying, um, that's the energy that I bring. I love my superpower is that through conversation, I can keep it very, very comfortable conversation topics, and then I'll layer in the lessons, the learnings in that interwoven, and then come out with a comfortable topic as well. So at the same time, it's like subtly implanting those ideas so that you can go ahead and feed on them later, or water those seeds later if you want to go to the plant seeding analogy. Seed those plants so you can water them later. But at the end of the day, I don't really heal people. All I do is open up those pathways for them to heal themselves.
I love that we're both wearing different shirts, like black and white, because there are those of us that are the opposite. I go through life since I was born, not protecting myself. I just go right in and I just love people. And it's like, that served me. And that's how my creativity goes. But for what you're talking about, it works for other people too. So what you just turned me on to is there is diversity in how we're all supposed to approach, and we're different pieces, different, like you said, fractals are different parts that operate in different ways. Now, some of us can do multitask, and we can do different things and turn it on, turn it off. You know, like we can be one thing one time and another thing another time, like a chameleon.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's true.
We can solve world problems. It's like, go ahead.
You were cutting off there, so I didn't really get. But what I was gonna say right there is like different personalities. Like everyone has different moods, different emotions. People are ruled by their emotions, their moods. Like it's not. I don't really change your mind. Just change your mood. You change your mood, you change your mind. You can make your actions off of what you feel. Most people do stuff off what they feel like doing. So if I change your mood, I can change your mind. And I brought that up because it was something that you were saying before that I didn't catch, but so
Oh,
sorry
I can
about that
just
part.
clarify. I'm driven by imagery and the goals that I've chosen to try to make a better world. And that's it. People mock me for it. It's like, you think we want everybody to hold hands? I'm like, yeah, I think I can do that. And so my whole work and all my creativity is balanced on that. And it's like, so that image that I hold in my mind of like others suffering and need, it drives me. So it's nothing to do with my feeling or my mood or anything. It's all about, it's a constant for me. But that's why I think the magnet thing comes in play, because it's like my heart, you'll see my heart right on the sleeve. You'll see that I care. And I look for others that care. So we each have our own tribes and our groups that, you know, we resonate with. And mine, I'm fortunate to have the ones that are just like, just caring magnets that just really, really love and just are there to help and heal. And if you're dropping, they're there picking you up. And I like to be one of those.
I agree with you. I think with the same piece of same like a different piece of the same puzzle. Like ours is through music. So what resonates with some sort of people, they can resonate through your film or your imagery, and they can also resonate with my audio. But ultimately, we're doing the same kind of like uplifting or giving messages, helping people. It's just a different. It's like if I'm trying to send an idea or send like, this cell phone, I can send it to you via UPS or the carrier. Either way, we're still sending the same message through different mediums, if that makes sense.
Honestly,
Yes.
it's like quantum physics. I mean, each of us are like
Mhm.
particles of different charge, and it's like different types, and it's really good. It's beautiful. Like I do music too, and I believe that music is a universal language. You can create imagery and feeling through a song with the layers in the music, and it also teaches layered thinking with the music. But you can go through any culture basically and communicate a feeling and an idea through the sound, not the words. It's beautiful. So I commend what you're doing. I understand the power of that. But I believe that we're all like the diversity of who we all are in our makeups and how we approach life is a beautiful thing. And I celebrate who you are. I celebrate who each of us is. And I'm like that kid-like guy that likes to explore and enjoy meeting and discovering who each person is and the layers of who they are. So you'll see that. That's why I wrote, is because I'm naturally shy, but I like to bring people together through the work.
I resonate with that.
As far as emotions, you asked the question. I don't know, I think it was Tom. As far as emotions, my superpower is love, obviously, but since I was a child, I didn't know I was autistic until 2 years ago. So I couldn't get the words out and I'd start crying and then I'd get mad. And then either it would start raining or the electric, my phone, whatever, something would pop like a light. A refrigerator wouldn't work, the stove. And my mom actually has a picture of me when I'm 3.5 and I'm like, quiero agua. And I couldn't say agua. I want water. We were at La Paz, Baja California, in a little RV by the ocean. And I was asking one of my aunts, quiero agua. I want water, but the water wouldn't come out. The word water wouldn't come out. And I get emotional about that, Shamu, because that's what they did to me in the programs, just to get me to just, if I could, not talk, I get to cry, and then I get to just want to beat the shit out of whoever's in front of me. And I used to have a problem with punching through walls, and so I had to stop before I joined the academy. Because, then I had to start boxing. I did jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I even put my kids in there. So I have to do a lot of physical stuff. I'm a O negative. I don't know, Shamu, what you guys are, but the Hulks, I'm talking to the Hulks. I know Susan's been in the programs with me as well. And I wrote about the Hulks in my book, Sheila and the 99. So I have, I also wanted to touch real quick before you guys go on. I was talking about how I grow extra bone. So I've had left knee surgery. I've had 7 surgeries on my feet to take out the extra bone. I've had a bone grow here in my salivary gland. I still have it. It's like this big. My left and my right shoulder were done. Now my right is messing up again. They want to do a full knee replacement on my right knee, and I'm like, crap. So, but I just feel like, because we survived all the crap that they sent to us, they have to help us now. They have to pretty much help our bodies. I have titanium in my back. I need more in my T zones. As far as the dream you guys were talking about, I have had dreams where I'm rescuing a female, and it happens to be my daughter in the dream. But then there's other children that I have to go rescue, and we're at a 2-tier. There's construction going on outside. There's a bridge. Then I bring down my daughter to look for other kids, and it's underground. And there's a male in one of those I don't know if you guys see Bob the Builder, but what is that? One of those um, tractors, and then the other one is sitting. It's weird because the holograms, it's probably a ship, but he's actually sitting in one of those where you put rocks and you push it through the mine. I forget the name. Sorry, I have a hard time with words. But and then the guy, we had weapons, and one of the guys that's sitting on the dump thing, he says, "Don't go yet." He pushes me back. "Don't go. There's the aliens are running the tunnels. You can't go yet." And I'm like, "What?" So dreams like that, I've had a lot of dreams in labs, and I wonder, just looking at Maria, I don't know, but the more I see you, and I've thought about it this before, but I don't know, it'll be revealed to me one day. But I have a feeling that you are the scientist that worked on me and Susan. Her name was, she told me in a regression, her name was Janine Klavatsky. And she was in a scientist. She has long hair, black hair. She wears glasses. She's in one of my books, the first one. And it's interesting. When I remote viewed her in the vision, her family was threatened, and that she had to be a scientist. She didn't want to help, with the Hulk thing. She didn't want to feed the black goo, the green goo through our nose, the yellow, the pink goo. But I don't know. Hopefully it'll be revealed. So, okay, I just wanted to say that. Whoever wants to go next is fine. This is fun. Susan, you haven't talked.
Now I'm just sitting here thinking about the Hulk stuff, but I mean, most of those programs, I'm older than you guys. When I was a kid, when I was in the 70s, like that was the original Hulk show. We had the Mighty Isis. That ended up being my nickname on the police department. She would hold this medallion and spin around and turn into this warrior goddess. There was the Bionic Woman, and there's your Kruger cyborg, stuff. The $6 million Man, and Wonder Woman was also on, but I liked Wonder Woman, but I didn't like her costume. It's like too revealing for me. I want to be running around in a little leotard. That's why I liked the Mighty Isis. But
I
and
love
then I
it.
remember past lives in Egypt and Atlantis, stuff like that. So that made sense. But it seems like everything I was attracted to as a kid were programs they put me in, and I was in so many of them. It was freaking ridiculous, I remember David Morrow as he was a Black Hulk. That we had Black Hulks, and Shamu. You look familiar, but I don't. I'll remember why eventually. But are you a huggy person, Shamu?
I am actually, if I know you, yes, I do
Okay.
like
Because
touch.
I just remember when I look at you, I
If I
see
don't know you, I
a
don't want.
guy that hugs me and like taps me on the back.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been into Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology. I've always been into those cultures. I've I've been around a lot. California, Florida, Mexico, and I always get that like, hey, you look familiar, you remind me of somebody, and I don't know what it is or what resonates with people when they see me. It's just I have really bad memory of names, but faces, I remember faces forever. And as I'm starting to look at Rogue's uh, face, it's starting to become more and more familiar with me, and I don't know why. When she put her head down forward, her forehead, something reminiscent, like I do know her from somewhere. I don't know where or how, but yes, it does happen to me a lot where people are like, I remember you, and I've had good and bad reactions, and it's been it's very surprising, I guess you could say, because when people come to me, they're like, you remind me of my uncle, you remind me of a friend, you remind me of a whatever, so and so, etc. And then I'm just like, I don't know, I'm sorry, like you look familiar, but I can't place you, and it always happens a lot.
And that's why we do these roundtables, because I started a long time ago. I said, when I had to talk to David Morrow, actually, I saw him on a movie, on a thing with Miles Johnson on a YouTube thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, he has the same. Wait, I'm the Hulk too. What the heck? And then he was in my dreams, and I was his bodyguard. He told me, yeah, you were my bodyguard. You would help me to not turned into the Hulk. He says you were involved in a Stargate 1 program, and they still to this day use whatever you told them to do, because I can hold wormholes open and bring relics back and stuff. But anyway, it's just really interesting, like how I just knew that I had to start these roundtables because I was looking for answers as well. And it's been what, since December 2018 that I started my first channel, Unchaining Hearts, that got hacked, and Unchained Hearts, and I'm still here. And a lot of people, sometimes you have to take the breaks, especially when you're sick or whatever, and come back, but come back stronger. And I just love vibing with you guys, and so thanks for being here. It helps me too, bring us all together. We're going to Florida, and I did invite you guys to go, but hopefully you guys can go next year. Rick.
2.5 weeks, right? We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom,
I had to
too.
get my
Ready to play?
costume together.
That's
I don't
so
even know
cool.
what's back.
Well, Susan
Dude,
and
I
I,
had a
and
race
Casey are
pass.
gonna do a sound bath. I want to do sound baths on the beach in the mornings, but I'm not gonna be there till Tuesday evening, so it would have to be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings, and then we're doing one the evening. I think it's Thursday evening around 6 or 7. We're doing a big one on the stage for everybody, so we'll be doing all that energy work. I really am excited because I love doing tandem work with Susan. And I think just doing that holy fire Reiki up there, and we'll have to really figure out how to navigate it because I've never done a giant sound bath. Because usually you go over people, like I have ocean drum, and you can either do the heartbeat drum or you can play the sounds, which if I'm next to the ocean, I don't have to play the waves. I can just beat the heart. So it should be interesting. I'm really excited. It's an honor. Susan has a lot of amazing abilities.
I have drums, but I don't know if I should take them because I'm already taking a whole suitcase of my junk journals. I have 43 junk journals, and then I wrote the 3 books, but I'm only going to take 5 of each. So whoever's going to buy them is going to buy them because I don't want to bring them back home. And then readings, intuitive readings. I'll take my tarot cards, but I really don't need the read. I pretty much do DNA activation like I'm doing now. And I do help with healing and prosperity. Like if somebody needs a job, I'll just say, okay, what do you want? And then boom, like within a week, they'll have a job or a week or 2. So it's all about love, like the motherly love, but at the same time, like Rick says, we have to control, like we have to have boundaries. And Tom, you're going to be speaking too, right? On the panel?
Yeah.
Are you going to take your work, your masterpiece that you always show, or no? Because you have to take.
Yeah, I'll take a couple of ones from the Copyright Office. I'll bring the one down so you can see it. I have to do the Roseanne Barr thing on the 1st though, so that's on my mind. Is July 1st. I have to do that. Then I'll be in the mind frame for the down to Florida.
I love Roseanne. She's so freaking hilarious.
Boy, you meet her in person, powerhouse. Wow.
I bet she's funny.
Yeah. I shared the video, Tom, with Roseanne Barr, and then I did talk to her on Instagram, and then she's so sweet. And then Brian Sang told me to send the information to her in case she wanted to go, but she said she would check it out. But that's all I know. So Roseanne Barr, I don't know if you guys are familiar. She is an awesome superstar. I used to watch her when I was a kid. I was a latchkey kid. My parents were never home, so I was like the mom. So after I'd clean and make food or whatever, cook, I'd sit and watch her. She was kind of like my third mom, I guess you could say. And then she got kicked out of Hollywood, I guess, right, Tom? Because she started talking about something that we'll just say was not PC. And I just love Roseanne because she'll talk about whatever the hell she wants, and that's what I want you guys to be able to say what's on your mind and your heart, because not a lot of programs on YouTube are scripted, and a lot of programs are like light and love, which is great, but we need the truth, especially with what's going on right now. I did tell everybody, like the dome that I actually saw it in a dream and in vision 4 or 5 years ago, that we have a dome on the top and a dome on the bottom of Earth. and they open it from 3 to 4:20 in the morning to let, and then if you notice at 3 or 3:30, they'll turn off like the Wi-Fi will go wired. I published my first book, Sheila the 99 at 3:35, I think, in the morning, or 3:36, and boom, it went out. So I had to redo the whole thing. It took me another hour because I had just finished editing it. I had to do the whole thing again, and then finally it was published. And I called Cox, and they're like, no, nothing happened here on our end. So the sleeper cells are allowed to come in as well. It's very prevalent too during Halloween. That's when they take most of the kids. I mean, they take them all the time, but they have ships out here that take them, unfortunately. But that's our whole thing here, is to help teach the people, hey, you know, beware of your surroundings. Be careful with the children. Always protect the children, animals, you know, plants. But the whole Israel thing, that was another thing to hype up the civil war that I saw that was coming. The AI wars is already here, and then they're prepping for World War III with China. So we all have to be prepared physically, health-wise, get our body going, get our mindset, our heart healed, so that way we, you know, when we're called, because we're active, most of us are active right now, but when, you know, you guys that are not active yet will be called, so just be aware of that. So anything else, guys? We have another 20 minutes or so.
I wanted to wrap up saying something for when it came to me. It was like when you were saying earlier, like there's bad days, good days. I just want to say that we're in alignment with the earth, and just how the earth has seasons. There's good times, there's bad times. So keep up the fight, keep them going, because you guys are doing great. The highest form of energy is authenticity. So please speak your mind, please open up, and I wish you all the best till next time.
That lines up with just what I was just thinking too. That's so cool about being genuine. Just be your genuine self is the best way to be. It seems to be coming into fashion now, even where Roseanne was talking about that with me, that she says, you know, she sees genuine. So I look forward to that, people getting to be themselves and meeting who they really are.
I was thinking the same thing. I actually posted the other day that it's irritating when people you know, put on a mask and they can't be themselves. They're the most miserable, and I'm actually coming into who I really am, and I've been the happiest I've ever been ever in my life. So, you know, just to let everybody know that don't, I guess, best lack of better words, don't fake the funk. Just be yourself. Just, that's all you could do. That's the best remedy. You could cure most of your diseases with just being yourself, you know?
And make sure you laugh every day. If you fart, laugh. Make it funny. You gotta laugh.
Well, this has been great, guys. Great. I was just thinking too, if people try to impress others, you're probably going to impress the wrong people, and you're only misguiding those that actually are the ones that will love you. So
Yeah.
Authenticity is definitely something that speaks. And, you know, I think the more that we're able to tap into that core that really is able to look, it's like almost like our oversoul has the blinders off. And if we just listen and just tap in, the Akasha is open to us. So amazing. And I think setting the examples that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to, you know, let loose a little bit, have some times when you giggle.
Yeah,
It's
that's how you
okay
put
to
it.
be a little stoic sometimes. And it's okay to accept that things happen to you without accepting that you were okay with it. And I think that's being able to stand into the power that we have without digging down into that victim mentality of, you know, yep, we're targeted people, but we're really freaking strong. They're scared of us. They're really scared of us. And the more that we can think instead of, God, I'm so tired of these stupid chemtrails, we're like, yep, return to sender, take that back to the universe. Karma will take care of that. It's not going to affect me. I don't consent. We don't have to play. So I think it's really cool. It's been really cool to meet you guys.
I was gonna
I
say,
always love,
just putting on that social mask is so
yeah.
exhausting, and authenticity will raise up your frequency, and then you'll raise up the people around you's frequency, and it's gonna go down the tree. It's gonna go down the ripples, and that's just the best. Like I said, you guys are already doing it with all the pain and everything, and imperfections, just being yourselves. You guys are already doing it. So you guys are doing great.
Well said.
Don't forget that.
No frou-frou here.
And be
And like I
careful.
was saying, Tom, like I was telling you, I was saying, like what I said in my, I don't know words, whatever, basically. And then my brother, don't fake the funk. And Rogue over here, if you fart, laugh. Like everyone tells
I
their
love
story
it.
the exact same way. Everyone tells your story their own way, and it resonates to who it resonates to. So that's just
I
life.
don't know
Let's
what
keep
it
going.
is. It's like everywhere I go, there's that rolling joke. It's like, you know, just let it go. Have fun with life. So that's awesome. I love you guys. And I feel like we've known each other for a very long time. And yet we're reacquainting and getting to know different versions of us from different lives that I think that we're able to help each other grow. And I'm really honored to meet you guys, the ones that I'm meeting today, and of course those that I've spoken with in the past. It's great to reacquaint and connect again. So
I can't
I
wait to
always
see you.
love that. What's that?
Susan and Amaria, I can't wait to see you again. It's
You
been since
too.
2021,
And
man, too
Susan,
long.
I know it's
right?
been
It's been forever.
2021 since the three of us were together.
Yep, that's been a really long time. Vegas. We're gonna make it better. We're coming even stronger than before. I'm gonna be holding a lot of space just because we're not having attacks. They can try,
No,
but
do you
we've got
remember
our
last time
scales. I've got my dragon scales. They're all mirrored. They're strong. We got this.
when we were in Vegas, there were all except for one of, I think it was one or two of the whatchamacallit, of the elevators went out. So we had to, like, some of us took stairs and stuff like that. And I was like, that's because all super soldiers were in Vegas. And we just went, like, everything was
So funny. Little fuse.
you confused, man. So that's why they have us, like Rick said, separated in different places. You know, because
Right.
like, well, I mean, one of us is, they say we're as powerful as 10,000 suns. Just one of us.
All right, well,
So,
guys, I am starving. I need to eat my
you
second
haven't
meal of the
eaten.
day. I,
Dude,
I actually chose to do the podcast before I start eating, but I'm really starving.
No.
But it
You
was a
go.
pleasure to meet all you guys. Definitely felt really comfortable in this group. And everybody does feel like a familiar soul. So it was awesome to talk to everybody.
Thank you. Who's that, Rick? Thank you, Shamu. Does he want to say
Nice to
anything,
meet
your
you,
friend?
Shannon.
No?
The
Sorry.
older brother, he can't even hear what's going on. I had his Amazon packages, and he's like, "Where they at?" And I'm like, "I'm using them for my stuff for my laptop." Oh, he just took it. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off, guys. Like I said,
Okay.
take care.
Hey,
Okay.
if
Take
your
care.
brother
Nice to meet
ever
you.
wants to be on the show, have him pop on, okay? We'll see you guys
Okay.
later. Thank you.
Bye now.
Thanks, Tom. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you got it. See y'all soon.
Everyone.